with each chapter, I think, wow, something amazing is gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and the book is gonna click, and then nothing ever clicked, except for me off of the book. I kept having to stop. It was terrible.
So welcome back to our Very Bad Book Club. Today we have decided, because we hate ourselves, that we're going to read published Twilight fanfics. It can't be like 50 Shades of Grey. It had to be something like...
It has to be something...
abnormal.
Niche, if you will.
Niche, yes. Something very special that not any of you girlies have ever read. Or guys, I don't know.
Except apparently everybody's read my book.
and thinks it's
the best thing since the Bible.
Well, yes. But to start us off, Jasmine will go first because I went first last time.
So the book is called Sempre, and it's by J.M. Darhower, and it was originally a Bella and Edward fanfic called Emancipation Proclamation, where Carlisle is a slave owner, and Bella is his slave, and she and Edward fall in love.
The woman was too stunned to speak.
I tried so hard to find the fanfic, but it's been wiped from the internet. However, I did find more than one version of the book. I knew that it had gotten republished because she changed... I can't remember if she changed the main character or if she changed the dad to be more likable because people didn't like them at first. Okay, so the prologue is quite silly. And basically, so we meet a 7-year-old, Haven. Her name is Haven, by the way. Oh. She's a second generation slave, so her mom was also a slave.
And it's not funny, but it's the fact that someone put this to pen to paper.
Someone put pen to paper and on Wattpad, and then it got published. Oh, I think it was on fanfiction.net actually, which is where I looked for it.
That's almost worse.
Almost worse.
I can't navigate fanfiction.net.
Also, I just while you're listening to this, I want you to remember that this book is set in like 2005.
Oh. Was it always set in 2005, do we think?
Was it always set in 2005? I'm not sure, but they give her birthday, and we know that she's 17 years old.
Okay.
But by the way, I don't remember her birthday.
Okay. It's
because
irrelevant.
they say it like once, because she didn't even know her birthday, and that's why I don't know it.
Oh, well, you can't be expected to know.
You can't be expected to know. So we meet a 7-year-old Haven with her slave master Frankie. Why the name Frankie? I'm not sure.
That's a girl's name.
Well, this one, it's a man. Maybe Frankie is short for Frank.
Einstein. Sorry. Lock in. This one
in.
Can't be as long as the last one.
Okay, so she is 7 years old, and they're basically, I don't want to... a slave auction, like I don't want to call it that, but that's what it is. And so she's keeping her head down, at 7 years old, she may be a child, but she knows what's going on. And so basically, there's a bunch of kids there, a bunch of girls, do not know any names, because all they have are like tags, where they have a number. And there's a slave girl, she's called 33, that's her number, who starts to try to run off stage. And it's a commotion, everything's happening so fast, and slave master Frankie pulls out his gun and shoots her in the head. She falls to the floor dead, and he looks at Haven and says, "This is what happens when people don't remember their place." And that's the end of the prologue.
Oh.
Okay, and then...
I think Quanmel studied this, because that was an action-filled prologue.
That was an action-filled prologue. And you know what? You would think that the book would be really good after this. No. Okay, so chapter 1 starts, and she's running through the desert. It's set in California, a farm in California. And she's running through the woods, it's super dark, she's exhausted. It's also the desert, so it's freaking hot as balls. And she's also completely emaciated, she hasn't had water, she doesn't, she's a slave. So, she's not doing great, and she ends up passing out. And then there's a scene break. And then she wakes up in a basement. Yes. I would just like to say that I was really confused at first when I read it, because I thought that these were happening, like, chronologically, and they were not.
Okay.
I don't think that these happen. I think that the escaping happens, after. But there's also another time where she escapes again, and I'm not sure if those are connected. I really don't.
Okay.
Anyway,
When the author doesn't have an
she wakes up, she's in a basement, and we meet her mother, who's also a slave, and we get to learn a little bit about them, what they do during the day. They spend most of the morning cleaning, and then the afternoon, they usually kind of sit together and listen to the TV, which is weird, because, spoiler alert, later in the book she says they're not allowed to watch TV. They're not allowed to listen to TV or read books because it gives them ideas. And, and whatnot. And they need to know their place. Anyway. Anyway, through the door, we hear her new slave owner, Michael, and his wife, Katrina, arguing. And Katrina says that this girl needs to be gone. Now, of course, they don't say any names, but we know it's Haven.
Yeah.
We know it's Haven. And so her mom is like, Haven, you need to go. You need to go right now. Well, not right now because it's still during the daytime. But after the sun goes down, you need to run. Because there are people who are going to do bad things to you. And in this world, you can't trust anyone. You need to keep your head up. You need to know what's going on. And I know that if you stay here, you're going to die. Mm-hmm. Or worse. Okay. And so Haven is like, I can't leave you. You're my mom. I need you. Her mom is like, promise me you have to go. And she says, I'll do it for you. So that night, Haven escapes, and she doesn't get far at all. She does not get far. In fact, it's literally one sentence she's escaping, and in the next, she's out.
Oh, with a dart gun? Like what?
No. I think she just passed out.
Oh.
Again. And then she wakes up in a different basement, not with her mother. Her slave owner and Vincent DeMarco. Dr. Vincent DeMarco, who is the father of our love interest. So this is Carlisle. This is Carlisle. And so he's treating her wounds. He's, like, telling her what's going on. He's like, hey, you've got a concussion. You know, you could have died out there. You're severely dehydrated. You're not eating, which I think we all know she's a slave. So, of course, she's not. Yeah. And she is like, okay, whatever, thanks, I guess. And he's like, I'm going to give you the choice. You can stay here and die, or you can come live with me. And she's like, that's not really a choice, is it? And he's like, oh, we all have choices. It's whatever. Okay, I guess.
What is it with the books you pick and them getting really stupid choices to make?
I don't know, because I'm like, of course Haven is going to go, because if she stays here, she's going to die. So, I don't know. They leave the basement, and he gives her a sedative. And she wakes up later in the back of a car. They've already gotten off the plane. And now they might be in, like, Nebraska or something. Somewhere stupid.
Okay. Irrelevant.
Somewhere
Midwest.
stupid. Irrelevant somewhere. They're on the highway, and they have a conversation. It's not the greatest conversation. He's kind of like, I've got 2 sons, you know. You're not really going to be a slave, but, like, I own you, so you're kind of a slave. And she's like, oh, what? You didn't say anything about, like, your kid's mom. Like, where's their mom? And he shuts her down immediately, doesn't talk her the rest of the ride. And she knows that she just kind of crossed a boundary and almost broke a rule. They get to the house. It's huge, 3 floors. And Haven, she's super overwhelmed. He's showing her around, and they run into his first son, his oldest son, Dominic, who's 18. He, like, speaks to her, but she's, like, stunned. I don't even know if she's ever met a man that wasn't her slave owner.
Oh.
Or one of her that would be close to her in age. And so they kind of just walk away. Dominic goes back to his room, and Haven gets shown to her room, and he's like, help yourself to anything in the kitchen, but don't try anything stupid, like, I don't know, setting my kitchen on fire, because I'd let you burn alive before.
Hello?
Before I, like, really trust you. I would also just like to say that this house is pretty fortified, and she gets out of her bath and goes to bed, and she wakes up a little while later. It's morning now. She ends up going to get something to eat. She goes down to the kitchen, and this is where we meet Carmine, our love interest.
That's a terrible name.
This is Edward. I thought it was so weird, the names that she chose, but I think it's to remind you that they're supposed to be part of the mafia, like they're Italian.
Like they're Italian?
Like, in case you forget that they're Italian, there's a word in Italian on, like, every page.
Oh.
On, like, every page. And then it's, like, immediately translated. And I'm like, that's awesome because, you know, people who can't speak Italian, they know what's going on. But then I'm like, okay, did they, like, have to say it out loud? Like, the character themselves, like, says it out loud. Like,
oh!
Anyway, he's got dark hair. He's, you know, our typical...
He's a baddie.
Boy. Probably looks a little dirty, a little rugged. She startles him, and he drops the glass that he's drinking out of, and she starts to pick up the glass. She's also terrified. Carmine, like, grabs onto her hand, because he's confused. There's a random girl in his house, and Dr. DeMarco comes downstairs and is like, let go of her. Go get ready for school, you delinquent.
Oh.
Also, I'm not quite sure if he even likes his son. He's super confused, but he's like, what freaking ever. Also, huge character trait. This is like a big thing. Mm-hmm. Carmine is, like, he cusses all the time. Anyway, she's starting to settle into the life. She like cooks and cleans, but she's like, I've cleaned this house. It's only 3 p.m. you know, what else is she supposed to do? But she also learns that there are rules that Vincent, Dr. DeMarco, like, says for her, where she's allowed to go, if she can leave the house or not, which, no, she's not. He also has a tracker implanted in her.
What?
So she, like, kind of explores the house, you know, goes through some rooms. She ends up going into, I think, his bedroom. Vincent's, Dr. DeMarco's bedroom. And there's a gun. There's a gun in there. In case you forgot, they're in the mafia.
Oh, yes.
So, of course, they just have an unreasonable amount of guns in their home. But she's, like, cleaning up his room, finds a gun on the dresser, and she picks it up, and then he comes into the room, and she points the gun at him, because she's like a bird. You know, if you're a little too loud, they get all jumpy. And so she, like, points the gun at him, and he's like, what the freak are you doing? He takes the gun from her and points it at her.
Oh.
And he's like, don't ever come in here again. Like, why the freak are you doing that? You know where you're supposed to be, where you're allowed to be. This is not one of them. Why are you touching my gun? She's terrified.
Why is the gun out?
Why is it? That's what I was thinking, too. I'm like, you tell her to clean your house. Like, he never said not to clean his room. So we see a small snippet of Carmine at school, a delinquent. He's, like, on the verge of failing, of course.
So not like Edward at all. That's what kills me, is they always mischaracterize Edward in these.
It's because he's in the mafia. He has to be a delinquent because he's in the mafia.
Well, the reason the mafia exists is because they're smart people that...
I actually have, and we'll get to that, actually.
Oh.
I have some gripes about how they talk about organized crime in this. And people are like, oh, this book is so, like, you can't forget that they're in the mafia because it's, like, it's so real and raw. And it's dark. And I'm like, are we reading the same thing?
Well, also, have you ever met someone in the mafia? It's what I always want to ask those Goodreads people.
Like,
who do you know in the mafia?
I believe it. I'm mafia. And I'm like, what are you talking about, actually?
Hello?
What are you saying? Anyway, I just thought I should let you know, like, he's a delinquent. He gives a report on, like, the Gettysburg Address. And in case you forgot that slaves are a thing, why I told you, I'm like, I can't forget that this was originally
Set in the Civil War?
In the Civil War, because they'll do things like that, and I'm like, okay, you just wanted to talk about that.
So what do we think that scene was originally? Do we think it was him reading about the Gettysburg Address?
Yes. Most certainly.
Get a load of this.
He's there.
He was there when Lincoln delivered it.
He was there. He was his right-hand man, actually.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Anyway, so the next chapter, Vincent brings Haven to a doctor. I did not like this scene because she gets her first pap smear.
Ew!
And of course, she doesn't know what's going on. And I know that, she does feel that way, like, she's terrified of what's going on because none of this has ever happened before. But she's, like, started to be like, oh, you know, I'm like a person. We also, we learn that she can read here.
Okay.
We learn that she can read, and it seems like she can read well, which I don't think is true because there's a plot point later that she can't read. So I'm not sure what to believe. I think we go back to Carmine's POV at school. He's just the worst. He's one of those sarcastic guys. He's womanizer, loves to talk about women like they're not real people.
Not at all,
he's
Edward.
Like, I don't believe in love. I only have sex, and I only have sex hard. Very angsty teenage boy. Of course, he's 17, wears all black, and he hates school. So, a match made in heaven. When Carmine gets home, he's avoiding Haven like the plague. And she's like, oh my god, he wants to kill me.
Yes, he does.
Quite naturally. He's being weird, she's being weird, and Dominic, is like, why the freak are you acting so weird? You're the worst. You're such a fake friend. You're such a fake friend, because you'd let me embarrass myself on your YouTube channel.
I think we've already embarrassed ourselves quite enough. You're reading a freaking book that used to be called The Emancipation Proclamation.
You make me read so many terrible books in the name of content. And I'm just supposed to keep doing it for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do a holiday book. I'm not even joking.
I think we should. I also think that we should get those, like, romance books at freaking Dollar Tree.
Yes!
Anyway, yeah. But Carmine also, like, realizes that she's avoiding him. Mm-hmm. And he's like, okay, I know that I'm kind of, like, weird around you, but, like, you're avoiding me, so what the freak is up? He tries to, like, talk to her, and she's like, did I do something wrong? And he's like, well, no. And he's like, well, I did this. I cleaned the laundry, and I did this, and I did that. And he's like, yeah, that's not, like, what I'm here for, you know. I just wanted to, like, talk to you. You know, you're human. He's like, watch a movie with me. And she's like, what the freak are you talking about? And he's like, watch a movie with me. And she's like, okay. And he's like, are you saying that because, you know, you want to watch a movie with me? Or are you saying that because, you know, you're a slave? And so many less words. she does end up watching the movie with him, I think. And then we go to Mr. Vincent DeMarco doing some shady business. This was also, I hate, like, the scene breaks, because I'm like, why not just make these little chapters? Like, some of these chapters were, like, 50 pages, and I'm like, dude, like, there's so many things happening.
Like, we needed
a pause. Because I'm like, none of these things are even connected either, but she would just do freaking scene break after scene break after scene break. And it's the little lines. It's just lines on the screen.
Oh, that's diabolical. Oh. It's actually some of the worst book formatting I've ever seen.
I read this. And I actually did find a free PDF. So this book was getting this I was never going to pay for this book. Only fools would pay for this book.
And what if I told you I paid for my book?
And you're a fool.
Well, I couldn't find it anywhere.
A fool, in fact.
I'm going to see if I can return it and get my monies back and say this was so bad I'm no longer.
Let you return that.
It's Amazon. It's Amazon. They will.
Oh, maybe.
Amazon will give you money. One time I said I didn't like something, and Amazon just let me keep it, and they gave me my money back.
Would you want to keep this book?
No.
No.
I want it to die. I think at one point I put in my notes. One time I put in my notes. I said I want them to all burn in a house fire so that I can stop reading this.
You're so sweet and nice.
I know. I asked her if we could only do halfway through the book, and she goes, "I want to see what happens in mine." And
it's
I was
because people were like in the last half of the book, which by the way, it's like the last like 50 pages.
Okay.
And I was like, you're telling me this book is 686 pages and we get to the actual like nitty gritty stuff with 50 pages left of the book. I hope you die. I hope you freaking die. And everyone was like, yeah, no, like it's a little like slow paced at first. And I was like, oh, like at first. But then I'm on page 200 and it's still slow. I'm on page 300, it's still slow. I'm on page 500, it's still slow. I get to page 600, still slow.
And then the book is done.
And then the book it's 50 pages left, and then I'm like, oh. Yeah, and I still wasn't entertained by the stuff that was at the end.
So do you wish that we would have stopped?
I wish that we would have stopped, but then I would have been, like, curious to see how it ended. Because everyone literally was like, yeah, no, it gets so much better at the end, it's so good. Okay. And so this, liars and cheats. These people...
It has almost 5 stars on Goodreads.
There's a 900 one-star reviews, and it's still... And it's still at like 4.6 stars. That's how you know that there's literally thousands of people rating it 5 and 4 and 3.
And low-key, I think that means that we need to find them and put them on a registry. I was going to say put them on a registry, but that also works too.
We cut out their eyeballs so they can't read another book again.
Yes.
We cut out their ears.
We make them read the Bible on repeat. That's what I need to do after this.
They're gonna be dreaming of Bible fan fiction in their heads.
You ever read Bible fan fiction? Oh, it gets real wild.
Do you frequently read Bible fan fiction?
No, I was just curious. Oh, we should. I've never looked into Joseph Smith's fanfic, but I think it'd be really funny. It's like, I bet there's probably like a Joseph Smith ex Black Panther out there.
And it's a soaking fanfic. Who's helping them do their soaking? That's the real question.
Oh, okay. It would be... It has to be the snake that told him to find the Bible in the Midwest. It like slithers up and bounces.
I can see it in my head.
It's like using its tail and propelling.
Can we get an artist on set?
Yeah.
To draw this?
I'm literally gonna DM one of my animation people and ask if they'll draw.
Hey, I'll pay you whatever you want.
I'll pay you in laughs.
You're a terrible person. This just in, Jules doesn't believe in art.
I don't believe it.
And supporting artists.
Okay, just tell me about your stupid book.
I'm sorry, you're an idiot. Anyway, Vincent, he's doing some dirty business. They're at a lake. He shoots someone in the head, and he's like, no, there's 5 people in the lake. And I'm like, okay. Okay, what a wonderful end to the chapter. Who were the other 4 people, and when did we get to the lake? When did we
But you just gotta know, he got 5 bodies.
But I'm like, now there's 5 people in the lake, and that's so awesome, but I wish I knew what was going on. Anyway.
God, that's all I want in this book.
I really wish that I knew what was going on. Her and Carmine, they start to, like, hang out more. You know, they're, like, having, like, conversations. They're getting to know each other. Mm-hmm. She meets some, like, other people. Someone named Dia, who, honestly, who even is that? I wish I knew. They love to name drop and introduce new characters. And then they dip. And then maybe they come in, like, 30 chapters later. Because there are 51 chapters in this book. Honestly, I feel like in the first... 17 chapters. And the first maybe 17 chapters, I feel like it's really nothing.
It's like, what's the conflict?
It's poop on paper, actually. it's poop on paper for a lot. And you know what? I actually think that I may have enjoyed real poop on real paper more than this book.
You have such a way with words. What would your pen to paper look like?
This.
Oh, you can write something better than that.
I'm putting this pen to paper.
Can you write the Joseph Smith X left? I'm testing you with that. Only you could write something so beautiful.
Only I could write something
so intricate.
Back to the actual book. Like, I mean, like, we get, like, snippets of maybe important things, but then, like, you don't realize they're important until, like, someone's like, oh my god, this was important 35 chapters ago.
You're like, oh, good.
And I'm like, yeah, because I totally remembered 400 pages ago of nonsense. But we do get Haven, she leaves the house for the first time. She goes to the store. He's like, oh, store, what's that?
Wait, he hasn't been to the store?
He's like, I don't even know. He's like, his dad gives him the list, and he's like, I don't even know what this stuff is. Which I'm like, I don't know if they're, like, trying to make him, like, oh, I'm not good at school, but I'm like,
I'm just a little rich kid.
I'm like, are you stupid? No, genuinely. But he ends up just giving the list to Haven, and is like, here, read it.
And she can't read?
And she's struggling the whole time, but she's sounding out the words.
Okay.
And they get it, and he's being real patient. He's helping her look. They're doing it together. Some people start giving them dirty looks, and he's like, what the freak are you doing? He's, protective big dog.
Why are they giving them dirty looks? Is she, like, unclean or something?
No, she's not. I swear I swear it says she showered.
But then why would they, like...
I don't know. Like, it never really, like, say. Like, he, like, kind of just, like... I think it's just supposed to be, like, oh, he's, like, her protector, and he loves her so much, and he bad guy, but he love good girl.
Exactly that.
Caveman-esque, actually, in fact. You know what? That's a really good way to describe him. He's like a caveman.
And he knows nothing.
And he knows nothing. He's just jealous, and he's like, Haven, I love you so much, and then he's like, ugh, you're stupid, get away from me.
Like, no touch my rock, but when rock away from me, I sad.
But they end up, getting it together, and he's basically like, oh, well, we can get whatever you want, like, whatever you want to cook, since you're cooking, you can buy whatever. She's never had choices before. She's never been able to pick and choose what she wants to do, because, she was a slave. She's still a slave. I don't want anyone to forget.
Don't forget.
She's still technically a slave. And that's really, that's, their whole relationship. He does something that's, regular people behavior. He's like, oh, are you feeling okay? And she's like, I'm sick. And he's like, let me get you soup. And she's like, yeah, you're getting me soup?
How novel.
And he's like, it's fine. And she's like, but this means everything to me. Everything. This means everything to me. And that's really how it goes on, for the next couple chapters. He'll...
This is like Stockholm Syndrome almost.
No, it actually is, because there are a lot of times where he's just belligerent and rude to her and to, everyone around her. She goes to, one of his, football games, in case you guys forgot, our bad boy... He has to play football. He's the quarterback.
Which I think is funny, because if every football guy I knew, at least, was, good at school.
And if they weren't, good at school, that they were trying really hard, because...
They weren't going to be on the team.
They weren't going to be on the team if they couldn't. So I was just... But he's, the quarterback. They go to one of his games. But yes, at the football game, we meet this guy whose name I can't remember. Sorry, guys. Wish I knew. Mm-hmm. He's important later. He kind of just comes up to Haven. He's like, I think you're a real person.
Wow.
Which sounds so weird, but he knows that she's a slave. He never says that in so many words, but he's always like, I know you don't have the choice to do these things, and I don't think you really like him. I think he's just showing you kindness if you've never felt kindness before. And you know what? He may have been the voice of reason.
Oh yeah.
Carmine sees this, and he's like, what the freak are you doing? He goes freaking ape. They kind of get into a little tiff, a little fight, and he's like, stay away from Haven, and he's like, Haven's a real person, I can do what I want. Also, it's important to remember that every time he sees Haven, he tells a joke. That's his that's his whole character, that him and Carmine used to be best friends and they hate each other. He tells a joke every time he's on the page, and he thinks that Haven is a real person.
This is who's supposed to be Jacob, right?
I think this is supposed to be Jacob.
Okay, that's all we know.
We're just gonna refer to him as Jacob then.
Okay.
Because he starts to really see her. She opens up about her life, her family, things that she likes, books that she likes, and also a little contradictory, because sometimes she'll be like, yeah, we used to do this, but before she'd be like, we could never do this because
I'm a slave.
Our master said that it gave us ideas of freedom and life, and we weren't allowed to.
Wait, but how did she meet this guy?
What guy? Oh, Jacob?
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about Jacob anymore.
Oh, Carmine. Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
back to Carmine.
Okay.
No, back to Carmine and Haven. They go home after the game. His dad's like, "You're an animal. Stop this nonsense. I'm gonna take your keys. I'm gonna take your wallet if you don't start being a real human being." Carmine's like, "But Dad, you can't do that.
I want to play ball.
You can't do that. I want to go to fashion school." Mr. DeMarco's like, "Freaking watch me." I forgot to mention this earlier. Maybe you'll have to cut, copy and paste. I don't know,
bro.
You'll figure it out. You're brilliant.
Thank you.
But the first time that they really interact is because Carmine, his room is so dirty, and he needs someone to do his laundry, and he's never done his laundry before. This is the first conversation that they really have. And she's like, "Do you want me to do?" He's asking everybody. He's like on the phone with people. He's like, "I'll pay you to do my laundry," and his friend is like, "Dude, your dad took all your money," and he's like, "I'll pay you to do my laundry. Don't talk to me about my dad and cards and money. That doesn't matter."
Wait, so that happened in a flashback?
No, this happened earlier. I forgot about it.
Oh.
And this book is forgettable.
In football? In the football? Wait.
Before football. Before she leaves the house. I think this happens in like chapter...
But okay, so he usually gets grounded and his dad takes away all of his money.
Yeah, but his dad, it doesn't really ever work because Carmine's still the worst. I just thought it was weird. And I think he makes her a sandwich after, and she's like, "You made me a sandwich? This means everything," which is why I said that's basically their whole relationship. Because, like, every time he does anything and I understand that she's a slave and she's having a hard time, like, acclimating to, like, technically not being a slave. She still is.
Yeah.
Mind you.
Why are they trying to claim that she's not?
I don't know.
Because they treat her like a human?
Mr. DeMarco is kind of just like, don't, like, he even, like, says it. He's like, "Don't call me your master," because, like, I'm not on the same, like, level as Michael. I like to think that I'm better than him.
Oh, so it's more about, like, he thinks he's better than Michael.
I think so.
Okay.
They also, I don't know. I think they're, she lives in the house. She has her own room. They basically end up starting a relationship. It's gross. He's like, "I love you." He says random things in Italian. She's like, "What's that mean?" And he's like, "It's Italian."
It means, "I love you." I love you in a different language. That means I really love you.
Their relationship kind of, like, grows a little. He's still a weirdo, and he still is kind of like...
Well, yes.
Something happens, and he pulls away, or they share a little too much, and he's like, "Oh my God, she was a slave.
She, like, was a human being, and I have to reckon with that.
He's like, "Oh my God, her life was so bad," and I'm like, "You guys, like...
bought her.
You guys bought her." I'm like, I know that, like, he wasn't, like, there with his dad, and he doesn't, like, really know the reason why his dad bought her, because she kind of just showed up in their house one day, but I'm like, you know that she was a slave. They get into some trouble sometimes, because the dad is like, "Why are you sniffing around my slave?" Long story short, and he's like, "Okay, well," he's like, "Don't be freaking weird, Dad. Why is she here?" And he's like, "Get out of my office." And honestly, like, that's really, like, kind of how it is.
The whole book?
A lot. I'm gonna really lock in off of memory. I would also just like to say, I've been thinking about this book since I read it.
Maybe that's why so many people wrote it 5 stars. It just stays with them.
It stays.
It
with
haunts you.
I would also just like to remind, just to let you know that the reason why Carmine is like so like, "Oh my God, love," is because and we learn that his mom, like, passed away.
Okay.
She died.
As humans do.
As humans do. I think she got shot.
Oh. I mean, I get it, but, like, people are gonna die.
And that's kind of honestly, like, it really strains him and his dad's relationship. And we would also come to find out it's the reason why he doesn't really like Haven and why he doesn't really like answering questions about it. It's because of his wife. She's dead.
What does that have to do with Haven?
And I'll let you know.
Oh.
In just a moment.
I'm so sorry.
But it because, like, they kind of, like, fight about it, but, like, we don't know, like, why. Like, we know that his mom, like, got shot and that she's dead, which is obviously very traumatic. But we don't really know, like, why it was, like, a big thing, like, involving Haven. Her and Carmine are going well. They end up having sex in one chapter. I, like, grazed through it. It also wasn't long. Yeah, they have sex, and then the next morning he's kind of like... But it's because he's just like, "Oh my God, I'm falling in love with her," and this is like serious. And honestly, there really, like, nothing happens in, like, the next couple chapters.
They just do the back and forth thing.
They kind of do a back and forth thing. His dad and him kind of go back and forth too, where he's trying to get more answers about Haven. The dad being like, "No." Haven, she ends up finding his mom's journal.
Oh.
Which is one of the, like, actually big things that
Was his mom a slave?
Yes. She used to be a slave, and she was, like, trying to get Haven to stop being
Just stop being a slave. God,
just stop being a freaking slave. No, but she was trying to save her.
I hate you because you're poor and I wish I didn't.
But she was trying to, like, save her, and she ends up getting shot.
Oh, okay.
She ended up getting shot because of it.
But was she still a slave when she was married to him?
No. Oh. She was previously a slave. She then got her freedom, and then she married him. Yeah, she learns that through the journal. Nobody knows that she has the journal yet, by the way. She realizes that she, like, has actually met the mom before because she used to, like, dream of this lady that she would call an angel. She, like, leaves the house some more. Vincent is like, Carmine, you gotta teach her how to drive. She's not very good at it. They get into the car. He's the worst. He's really mean to her about it, and he's like, I should have more patience. And he's like, let's try again. And she's terrified. But they try again. She's
Why
okay
does she even know how to drive?
Vincent thought it'd be a good idea because he's trying to get her, like, acclimated to society.
Okay.
Like, he's trying to, reintroduce her. Because, spoiler alert, his plan is to free her.
Oh, okay, nice.
He plans to let her go eventually, but he's like, yeah, if we just, like, let her out into the world one day, she's not gonna know anything and she's gonna die. So he's almost caring like that, except at, like, every turn he, like, kind of reminds her, like, you're basically still a slave.
Because he's in the mafia, so
he's in the mafia, so he has to be the worst person alive. We get some, like, mafia business in there, like, but I'm like, this. Like, it's like every other page and they're like La Famiglia, and I'm like, can we skip this part? Can we get to the next part, please? She's like specific type of gun, and I'm like, you look like you don't even know what that gun looks like. Do you even know what this gun is? Honestly, we can really skip. We can skip to the end of the book.
Nothing important happens?
Not really.
Okay, skip it to the end? Or
not
fast forwarding?
Really. I mean, like, wait, let me think for 2 seconds, and you can cut this out while it's in silent. Yeah, nothing really important happens. They may have sex again. They're like, Haven, you should get your GED. And she's like, GED? What the freak is that? And he's like, it's basically high school for people who don't finish high school. Which is, like, awesome, but I'm like, when we, like, think about it, like, in context, though, she's been a slave her entire life, so, like, why would she go to get her GED and not, like, they're rich, they're in the mafia, they have money, why would they not get her, like, I don't know,
then they would have to pay
primary schooling,
dump more money into their slave, Jasmine.
And you know what, you're so freaking right. Why would I think that they would let her be like, here's what you would have learned before high school, because you can't just be like, here, GED, when you don't know how to read properly. Anywho, yeah, they decide to let her, like, get her GED. She, like, meets the Jacob character again. Carmine is jealous. He's like, I don't want you around him. I hate him. He hates me. We hate each other. And
go team.
And if you're around him, it's like you're kidding me. Why can't you just? We skip to the end of his year. He goes to prom. She goes to prom with him.
They let her go to prom?
They let her go to prom.
Wow.
She's in a dress, and I think she wears, like, I think she may perhaps wear Converse or something.
That's devastating.
Hitting home. Like that terrible blue dress in
the Twilight book, yeah.
In Twilight. We get to, like, chapter, like, 30 or 40. And basically, they're trying to get Haven freed. Okay, but it's kind of hard because, dun dun dun, the reason why she's here is because her slave master, Michael, the old one, assaulted her mother. So she technically is, like, part mafia princess.
So she's a bastard mafia prince.
She's a bastard mafia prince. Princess.
Mind you.
She's basically a bastard mafia princess, and the mafia's like, what the freak? What do
we do with this chick?
What do we do with this chick? But they're like, let's kill this chick and let's kidnap this chick, because we can use her for leverage. Because
no one cares about her, though. Well, Carmine does.
And that's, Vincent's gonna do what he needs to because that's his family. That's kind of like the code thing.
It's like, my family.
They like talk about a code in here, but I'm like, whatever.
Burn down in the house.
It's fine. She gets kidnapped by other members of the mafia. She's, like, being held, and they can't find her. Like, they're all of their resources are being exacerbated, and then Vincent gets arrested. They have him for a lot of things, but specifically they're like RICO charges. And so he's sitting in a holding cell. He can't really do anything, and Carmine's going stir freaking crazy. He's like, I can't sit here and do nothing because she's the love of my life and I need her. Like, I will literally die without her.
Are we almost done?
We're almost done.
Oh, this book is really bad.
This book, it is really bad, and I kept thinking that like, oh, like it's gonna get good eventually. It never did. 686 pages of pure ass cheeks. But yeah. Oh, I forgot about that, but it's not important. Never mind.
What?
I was gonna say that Jacob died, but nobody cares.
Jacob could have died in the actual Twilight series. Nobody cared. We would have been like,
the Jacob character died. He like gets shot while she gets like kidnapped, and she's like, "But Jacob," and he's like, "Bitch, we gotta go."
Yeah, real. Okay.
But yeah, so he's going insane. He's like, I need to do something. And so though he is a mafia prince, he's not technically like in the mafia.
Right.
Like he like, you know, that's his like blood and family, but he's not like doing anything himself. Oh, okay. Like, so he's only really there by blood. He goes to the mafia and he's like, I need your help, dude. And well, it's not. I'm saying the mafia, like it's like one person. The mafia. But he ends up going to someone whose name that I don't remember. He ends up going to like another family who like works really closely with his dad, who of course is still part of the mafia. And he's like, I need your help. And the dude's like, well, I could help you, but you're not part of La Famiglia. You're not mafia, so I can't help you. And he's like, but what if I were mafia? And he's like, but you're not mafia. And he's like, but I'm gonna be mafia. I'm mafia now. He's like, okay, so if I'm gonna help you, you're gonna help me. And he's like, fine, whatever, I need to find Haven. He's like, fine. Oh he goes, fine, whatever, I need to find Haven. And so basically, he's now technically part of the mafia now, for real. Because
he just said, I'm mafia now.
And his dad is like, you're stupid, son. You're stupid. Mind you, he's still actually, he's not being held in the cell, but he is on a house arrest. Because they do have some evidence that he was doing some illegal things. RICO charges, I don't know. But illegal things nonetheless. And then what happens? Yes, so it takes them a while, and Haven gets drugged quite a few times because like she was cooperating at first, but then she gets a little too big for her britches, and they're like, you need to calm down. So they keep giving her stuff so that she's asleep. Okay. Now to my knowledge, they don't do anything nefarious to her here other than just giving her drugs. I mean, of course, she's not like eating or drinking or anything, but you know, nothing too nefarious.
They're keeping her alive.
They're keeping her alive, and that's what matters. They will come in and feed her and give her drinks, but of course, she's like bound to something. And so they end up finding Haven. She's like not dead, but they end up killing a bunch of people, including some of their own family members. Ooh. And so that basically kind of like destroys their code.
Oh yeah.
And so now Vincent is also like hated in the mafia. He's wanted by the police, but he's also wanted by the mafia.
Okay.
Because he broke their code, because he killed his family. Because they were trying to help the people.
The bad guys.
The bad guys.
Who are the bad guys though? Like, were they?
They have names, but...
No, like what group were they with?
What do you mean?
Were they also mafia?
Yes. Everybody's in the mafia.
So was it a different mafia?
It's like, no, it's just like a different, like, faction of
the same
mafia. Like a different family. Like, if you think of all
this person has no idea how mafias work.
They say quite interesting ththings about organized crime, specifically gangs. They say that like gangs are like low life thugs, and they like actually like I bookmark it, but I don't really want to go back and look for it. But they could like make it seem like they're stupid, and they're kind of just like they're like beneath the mafia. And I'm like, that's such an interesting like thing to say.
Well, because also I don't. There's not a difference between gangs and the mafia, in my opinion. I think no, there's not really a difference.
I mean, like, I think if we talk about, like, the lowest, like, classification, like, of gangs, and it's just, like, very, very simple, like, you know, that. But when we get into, like, real organized crime, they're basically all the same thing, where there's, like, you know, factions of people who are serving a something, who's serving a something, who's serving a something.
Yeah.
They all do things to serve these somethings.
Well, yes. And usually make some money off of it.
And usually make some money.
People.
Exactly.
And wear funny clothes.
And so it was just kind of weird.
Was that the end of the book? No. They get Haven? Okay, sorry.
They do get Haven back. Dr. DeMarco is kind of wanted by the mafia, also wanted by the police, and Carmine is now actually part of the mafia.
Okay.
He's getting deeper by the minute, and all freaking Haven can think about is, like, the fact that, like, he's actually in it now. Like, she thought that they were gonna be able to, like, live their lives. She's in the hospital. She found out, like, she passed her GED. They end up getting her, like, a green card or something. Yeah.
Okay. Keep on going.
They end up, like, getting her green card, and she's like, I'm a free woman now. But Carmine, you're not free. You're not free because now you're tied to the mafia.
You were dating the mafia prince, and you're shocked he got into the mafia.
Right? I'm like, I just feel like, I know that she's a slave, so she is naive. And so I don't, like, want to say that it's, like, bad character writing for her to believe that they could get out together.
However,
I also think that she's supposed to be, like, smart. She is supposed to be smart. So I'm like, would you not, like, realize, like, how deep this is? Like, you get kidnapped by these people.
And he comes to get you. Like, yeah, at that point.
Like, at that point, it, like...
So did it end with them breaking up? Like, they break up? Oh, okay.
They don't break up. They're still together. And it ends with her, like, sitting and reading the journal of the lady, the wife. Because when she found out that that the lady was also a slave, a page had fallen out.
And what was
she did find the journal. She found the whole journal, but a page fell out, and she only read that page. Mm-hmm. And they later give her the whole journal, and they're like, we think you should have this.
Okay. And then the book ends?
And then the book ends.
Wow, that was ass of 600 pages.
It was truly terrible. There was a lot of nothing. It was truly a nothing burger. For 600 pages, all the characters are genuinely unlikable. There's really only 2 characters that I think are tolerable, and it's Haven and the Jacob guy. And it's only because he like says stupid jokes. Like he comes onto the page and he's like, oh, what's red, white, and black all over? But he doesn't say newspaper. He says something else, which I don't remember. So I'm like, none of them are memorable. None of them are likable, especially not Carmine. He's so quick to anger. He, like, is always... And he always gets so frustrated with her. And I understand because you get frustrated with people and you're like, but I can't be frustrated with them because it's not even their fault. But, like, he does that and it's still kind of, like... He gets, like, really mean about it. And he'll snap at her. And so, like, we're supposed to be like, oh, but he's, like, broken because his mom is dead. And they, like, love each other despite all that. Like...
But who gives a fuck?
But, like, who cares? Like, I don't care. You don't care. Obviously, it was a nothing burger. But it was so much nothing burger. Like, it was, like, 3/4 nothing.
Yeah.
Where really nothing happened. Like, we see, like, their relationship develop, and that's, like, awesome. And I love slow burn.
Yeah.
I do personally love a slow burn. But I'm, like... I feel like it only works if I like the 2 people who are in the relationship. And I'm, like, Haven is tolerable. Like, she's not, like, the worst main character that I've ever had to read, but it's hard to come out of the moment and be like, oh, that's so sweet, that's awesome, while, like, I'm not forgetting she's a slave.
Yeah.
I literally can't forget that she's a slave.
And she's her master's son.
I also just, like, I knew that they were going to end up together, obviously, but, like, I couldn't imagine, like, it actually being a happy ending where... Like, it actually being like, oh, this book is so wonderful. Like, they ended up together. And I'm like, she was still a slave for most of their relationship. She got freed at the very end. I think, like, he may ask her to marry him. I don't really remember.
So then she's leaving one contract for another.
So I'm like, she literally, like, she doesn't even know anything. And this book all happens over the course of a year.
Oh.
This happens over the course of a year.
Mine happens over the course of a month.
Well, your book is also like 150 pages.
My book sucked. Okay.
300. It's like 300.
Mine was 300, yeah.
So yeah, so not good. I give it like a 2 thumbs down, 0 out of 10. I do not recommend.
So what was better? Quan Mills?
Quan Mills. Genuinely Quan Mills. Because I'm like, I think about that, and I'm like, that book was actually so silly, and I would, if he'd come... Quan Mills. I'm talking to you directly right now, sir. If you come out with parts 2 and 3 of Pregnant by My Mother's Gay Husband, I'll read them. I'll buy them and I'll read them. So do it.
Genuinely, I comment that on his TikToks. He doesn't respond to them, though. He just ignores me.
I'm going to get your business email, Mr. Quan.
We're going to contact you. But yeah. Oh, that was very bad.
It was bad. And I also... it's hard, like, not to, because I already knew it was a Twilight fanfic, it's hard not to imagine it as, like, Bella and Edward and Carlisle and stuff, and I'm like,
Those are horrible mischaracterizations, you know what I mean?
Like, I can't even, and honestly, I love, like, silly AUs are wonderful.
Yeah, I love it, too.
I think that there's a time and a place for everything. Time and place.
And you forget my birthday dinner!
Anyway, I think there's a time and place for everything, and so I think that AUs can be really fun. But like, it only works.
The dog back.
I think it only works if in those AUs, like, the characters are actually still well written.
Yes.
And no one was well written. Forgot. But there were actually a lot of typos in my book. And it was like really easy things too. Like, it's like
stuff that I get wrong when we're texting.
Stuff that you get wrong when you're texting. Also, like, past tense kind of things also, like, where we don't write things like correctly. And I just think that this is really sad. She's come back to rejoice. The book is over, Heidi Joe. The book is over, Heidi Joe. We did it, Joe.
So yeah, that was Jasmin's book, Sempre by Who Gives a Fuck.
J and like Dar. I always want to
Dar-
say Darhower.
Dar Jinx.
Dar.
Dar Jinx.
You're an idiot. Darhower.
She knocked it over. All right, like and subscribe. Stay tuned for my book. I really think that we are. Oh, and I'm gonna put if you want to watch Jasmin recap Pregnant by My Gay Mother's Husband, I'm gonna put that as the next video up. So enjoy. Stay tuned for mine. Mine was just as bad. Actually, no, it wasn't. I don't think mine was as bad.